Kim Kardashian appears to be working alongside Taylor Swift, and honestly, it feels like it's less about forgiveness and more about survival. Both of them are dealing with image problems right now, and suddenly, this long-standing feud looks a lot more convenient to quietly smooth over. Taylor Swift, in particular, is in a really bad spot. She's been dragged into controversy thanks to Blake Lively after those leaked text messages exposed a side of Taylor that completely clashes with her carefully crafted nice girl image. The messages made her sound calculated, condescending, and honestly just mean, especially toward Justin Baldoni. And once that image cracks, it's hard to glue it back together. So suddenly, the idea of making peace with Kim Kardashian doesn't seem so far-fetched anymore. At the same time, Kourtney Kardashian randomly got another shout-out from Jennifer Lawrence. But this time, it wasn't the usual insult. Instead of calling Kourtney annoying, Jennifer actually walked back her comments and said she felt bad for making headlines about Kourtney's misery. So yeah, there's a lot happening here. Let's get into it. Kim Kardashian recently made a rare comment about Taylor Swift, nearly 2 years after Taylor released a diss track clearly inspired by Kim. And I can't help but wonder why Kim chose now of all times to speak positively about Taylor. It feels calculated, like there's more weight to this than people realize. Taylor is in a compromising position. Those texts with Blake Lively didn't just make Blake look bad, they exposed Taylor too. And while the internet has largely turned against Blake ever since the It Ends With Us drama started, Taylor didn't walk away unscathed. So isn't it interesting that the same day these messages are blowing up, a podcast clip of Kim casually praising Taylor suddenly drops? No one's really talking about the timing, but I noticed. Call it my Sloan-level conspiracy moment. The text exchange between Taylor and Blake is especially telling. Taylor says that if Justin Baldoni were strategic, he wouldn't want Taylor Swift's music in the trailer because it gives her power over the film, that she's an ally to Blake, not him. Blake responds by praising Taylor's thinking, comparing it to the Roman Empire. Taylor then goes on about Justin's misogyny, saying he thinks women can't play long-term power games like chess. Blake fully co-signs it, calling Taylor wickedly smart and mocking Justin for being stupid enough to give Taylor leverage. And let's not forget, Taylor once released a song called Thank You Amy, with KIM capitalized in the title. I'll never forget that song. Taylor literally sings about how one day Kim's kids will be singing along to her music. It's a strange, petty, deeply personal jab that sticks with you. So when KHLA asked Kim whether people would be surprised that she listens to Taylor Swift, Kim said yes. Which is funny, because honestly, it's impossible not to hear Taylor. You can't walk into a store, turn on the radio, or scroll TikTok without hearing her. But Kim went on to say she has some of Taylor's older songs on her playlist, probably not Thank You Amy, and called Taylor a super talented, great artist. A huge part of their feud stems from Kanye West. The infamous lyrics, the recorded phone call, the Snapchat clips Kim posted, all designed to make Taylor look like the villain. Those edited videos were brutal, and they worked. Taylor was publicly humiliated. When Kanye talked about the famous lyric, the one implying he made Taylor famous, even he admitted it would upset feminists. Kim posting that edited call was the final blow. And when Taylor eventually responded with her diss track, Kim acted confused, saying Taylor should just move on. To Kim, it was old drama. To Taylor, it was reputation destroying. Kim sees Kanye as the problem, not herself. She's moved on. New career, new identity, Kanye in the past. But Taylor doesn't forget, and honestly, I don't blame her. On Taylor's more recent album Life of a Showgirl, there's a song believed to reference Kim, mentioning funny valentines that come off vicious but are actually precious. That lines up perfectly with Kim sending Valentine's Day gifts to her haters back in 2018, including Taylor. That wasn't cute. That was a troll. So now the big question, is Kim genuinely trying to be nice, or is this a calculated PR move to help Taylor rehab her image? Because being publicly aligned with Kim, someone Taylor fans once viewed as the villain, suddenly makes Taylor look more forgiving, more reasonable. Especially when those Blake Lively texts made her look anything but. And here's the thing, I don't think Taylor will ever trust a Kardashian again. The 2016 phone call scandal changed everything. No amount of praise, playlist mentions, or kids listening to her music will undo that. Tree Payne, Taylor's publicist, absolutely ended Kim on Twitter when the unedited call leaked. And Kim still doesn't think it was that big of a deal. She even thought the naked Taylor figure in Kany's music video was funny. Kris Jenner suggested she apologize. Kim refused. She wants Taylor's approval without taking responsibility, and that's why it'll never happen. Switching gears slightly, Kim also talked about parenting on KHLA's podcast, specifically addressing claims that she's more like North West's best friend than her parent. Kim insists North has rules, but when it comes to self-expression, she lets her do whatever she wants, which honestly sounds like she's lost control. North has finger piercings, blue hair, fake septum rings, and Kim snaps back at critics instead of setting boundaries. Even more concerning, North isn't in a traditional school setting. Kim admits she's focused more on realistic courses like brand building, web design, and product creation instead of standard academics. North has even released a song rapping about piercings and skipping school, which is wild considering she's 12. Kim says her spelling tests are based on her lyrics. That alone is alarming. It feels like North never had a chance at a normal childhood, and Kim has fully accepted that instead of protecting her. Finally, let's talk about Kourtney Kardashian. Jennifer Lawrence recently softened her stance on Kourtney after previously calling her annoying. On Amy Poehler's podcast, Jennifer admitted her quotes get taken too far and said she felt bad. She even joked that if she were on a reality show, she'd pick the Kardashians just for the private jets and luxury. Jennifer actually has history with the family. Kris Jenner attended her wedding, and she's shared hilarious stories about getting drunk at their house. So while Kourtney still has that miserable sister reputation, at least Jennifer acknowledged she might have gone too far. When you step back and look at everything that's unfolding here, it becomes very clear that none of this exists in a vacuum. These aren't isolated moments, accidental comments, or random timing coincidences. This is what modern celebrity culture looks like when reputations start to crack under pressure. When the mask slips, the cleanup begins, quietly, strategically, and very publicly disguised as growth or moving on. Taylor Swift is at the center of a narrative shift she didn't expect. For years, her brand has been built on relatability, kindness, emotional vulnerability, and moral high ground. Even when she was wronged, the story was that she handled it with grace. But those text messages with Blake Lively changed that perception overnight. They didn't just expose Blake. They exposed Taylor's willingness to play power games, mock someone behind the scenes, and position herself as the intellectual authority in a situation that now looks far messier than originally presented. Once that door opens, it doesn't close easily. And that's why Kim Kardashian suddenly praising Taylor Swift matters. This isn't just a casual compliment. This isn't about music taste. This is optics. Kim understands optics better than almost anyone. She knows when the public mood shifts, when alliances become useful again, and when silence stops working. Taylor being framed as someone who has moved on from the Kardashians helps soften the edge of these new revelations. It suggests maturity, forgiveness, balance. And whether Taylor asked for it or not, that association works in her favor right now. But here's the thing, forgiveness without accountability isn't healing. It's branding. Kim has never fully acknowledged her role in what happened in 2016. She's always framed it as Kany's fault, Kany's words, Kany's chaos. But the edited phone call, that was her move. The Snapchat upload, her decision. The public humiliation, strategically executed. And even after the unedited call proved Taylor was telling the truth, Kim treated it like old news, something Taylor should simply get over. That tells you everything you need to know about how genuine this sudden respect really is. Taylor, on the other hand, has learned the hard way what happens when you trust the wrong people. And while she may be trying to soften her image right now, I don't believe for a second that she would ever fully trust a Kardashian again. The damage wasn't just personal, it was professional. It changed how the world viewed her. It altered the trajectory of her career and forced her into a full reputation reset. That's not something you forget because someone compliments your music on a podcast. Then there's the Blake Lively situation, which, frankly, complicates everything. The internet has largely turned against Blake, and in many ways, she's become the scapegoat. But Taylor doesn't walk away untouched. The texts revealed a side of her that contradicts the persona fans have been sold for years. And once fans feel deceived, the disappointment hits harder than the criticism ever could. This is where the narrative becomes dangerous. Because instead of addressing the tone, the entitlement, or the power imbalance revealed in those messages, the focus shifts outward. Suddenly it's about Blake being messy, about Justin Baldoni being the problem, about moving on, about peace. And when celebrities redirect the conversation instead of confronting it, it's usually because they know the truth won't benefit them. Meanwhile, Kim's personal life adds another layer to this entire situation. Her parenting choices, particularly when it comes to North, are becoming harder to defend. Kim insists she's nurturing creativity and self-expression, but at what cost? A 12-year-old rapping about skipping school, piercings, and fame isn't edgy, it's concerning. Education being replaced with brand building might sound innovative in billionaire circles, but it raises serious questions about boundaries, protection, and exploitation. Kim wants the world to believe she's evolved, that she's grown past the drama, that she's focused on motherhood and self-improvement. But the way North is being positioned publicly, musically, socially, and commercially suggests the same pattern repeating itself. Control the narrative, monetize the moment, and let criticism bounce off without reflection. And then there's Kootenai. Poor Kootenai, always labeled the miserable one. Jennifer Lawrence walking back her criticism doesn't erase the fact that Kootenai has spent years visibly unhappy in a system she can't fully escape. Her misery has become part of the brand, something joked about, referenced, and normalized. And even when someone like Jennifer Lawrence apologizes, it doesn't change the underlying truth that Kootenai seems deeply unsatisfied by the world she lives in. All of these threads, Taylor's image, Kim's calculated kindness, Blake's backlash, North's exposure, Kootenai's discontent, they connect to one central theme: reputation management over accountability, image over introspection, optics over honesty. And that's why this moment matters. Because fans are more aware than ever. Audiences aren't just consuming headlines anymore, they're analyzing patterns. They're questioning timing. They're noticing when narratives shift too conveniently. And once people start asking questions, no amount of praise, silence, or PR-friendly interviews can fully control the outcome. So now, I want to turn this over to you. Do you think Kim Kardashian's sudden praise of Taylor Swift is genuine or purely strategic? Did those Blake Lively texts permanently change how you see Taylor? Do you believe Kim is empowering North or exploiting her? And do you think Taylor would ever truly forgive someone who played such a major role in publicly humiliating her? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is far from over. And honestly, your perspectives matter more than any carefully worded celebrity statement. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future deep dives like this. We're also available on Spotify, and leaving a review there helps more than you realize. It keeps this kind of independent commentary alive. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. At the end of the day, though, Kootenai still seems impossible to please. Kim seems desperate for validation, and Taylor Swift is learning, yet again, that trusting the wrong people can cost you your reputation. But I want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And yes, we're also on Spotify now. Reviews really help. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.